What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the FIFA 17 career mode. This is episode number 96, and we start today's episode off with Menendez taking the armband after the poll closed this morning before I started recording this episode. And as you can see, after 2,662 votes, Diego Menendez just about won it by 30 votes, clear of Julian Weigl, and he takes the armband. So a big thank you to everyone that got involved in the poll. I really do appreciate it very, very much. Weigl was leading for quite some time, but only by a handful of votes. It was a crazy poll. It seemed like, for the most part anyway, from when I was keeping tabs on it, that Weigl and Menendez were in a two-horse race all the way through, and back and forth, really, they were giving a lead to one another. Then Weigl went in front by a few. Now Menendez overtakes him and does take the armband as well. And to be honest, after game one in the last episode, all I'll say is this: I think you guys have made the right choice, because Weigl will probably end up dropping to the bench anyway in place of Mario Götze starting alongside Henry the Hoover Davis in the DM role for us this season. And Diego Menendez, he scored the first goal of the season in the last game. He assisted the second goal for Nicholas Saul to head in from a corner as well. Last season, most assists in the league, second highest scorer in the division as well. He's one of the best players in the world. He's really asserting himself now as one of the premier players all across Europe, and I think you guys made the right call. So a big thank you for everyone getting involved in the voting, and Diego Menendez is the new Borussia Dortmund captain. And coming into the first game of the episode and the second of the season as well, what a way to make your mark as the new captain for your new team, storming from inside his own half all the way into the Ingolstadt penalty area here, and was taken down as the referee awarded a penalty to Borussia Dortmund just 9 minutes in. And the guy that would stand up and take it was our top scorer last season, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and what a start this season as well, because he may not have scored in the first game of the year against Red Bull Leipzig, but Red Bull Leipzig wasn't the opponents we faced in the first game. It was Borussia Mönchengladbach, as Red Bull Leipzig in the opening day last season against Borussia Mönchengladbach didn't score in the first game of the season, but does score in the first home game of the season to get his first goal of the year. And last season did win the Golden Boot in no small part due to the fact he got a lot of penalties given to him and scored a lot of them as well. But he's up and running this year, makes it 1-0 and makes it 2-0 as well 16 minutes later in the 25th minute, as he fires in his second goal of the game to make it Dortmund 2, newly promoted Ingolstadt 0. However, the goal would actually go down as an own goal through Nyland. Now, does anyone know Nyland, the goalkeeper Ingolstadt? If you do, you know what career mode he came from and what team he played for. Massive props to you, and leave it in the comment section down below. I love you very much. But still, Nyland got credit with an own goal there. Not entirely sure why, because the shot was clearly on target. But in the 32nd minute, to be honest, it probably wasn't going to matter, because once again, Nyland, the Norwegian, would have to pick the ball out of his own goal once again, because Diego Menendez, who won the penalty for our first goal, would score our third. And what a lovely finish this was as well. Kevin Volland chased the ball down to win it back for us. That's why I love strikers of high defensive work rate that come back and win the ball back for you in dangerous positions. Rolls off to Diego and just casually side footing the ball into the bottom corner. No need for a first touch. What a lovely finish, and it's Dortmund 3, Ingolstadt 0. So a fantastic first half. Welcome to the Bundesliga, Ingolstadt. We were tearing them apart here and showing them why we won the league last season. So Dortmund 3, Ingolstadt 0. And in the second half, just 6 minutes after the restart, Diego went on a lovely skill run here, tried to get his second goal of the game, but sadly Nyland made the save. However, Aubameyang would tap in the rebound into the open goal and make it Dortmund 4, Ingolstadt 0. And had that own goal not been credited to Nyland in the first half, this would have been a hat-trick for our Gabon international as well. The former St Etienne striker making it 4-0 to Borussia Dortmund with his second goal of the game. And to be honest, every single time we went forward in this game, we looked like scoring. Ingolstadt was shaking in their boots every single time we picked the ball up, regardless of what area we were on in the pitch. And in the 65th minute, with 25 minutes to go, Diego Menendez would get his second goal of the game to make it Dortmund 5, Ingolstadt 0. And how about this for a homecoming, our first home game since winning the title here last season on the final day against Hertha Berlin. We destroyed them and we destroy Ingolstadt as well. 5-0 scoreline, fantastic win. A brace for Aubameyang and a brace for Menendez as well, our new captain. What a performance from Diego, and you saw why in game 1 against Mönchengladbach this guy's one of the most important players in the team, and you see why in this game as well, and why I do believe you guys made the right choice for the captain's armband as well, because this is Diego's team now. You know, seriously, there are lots of great players here. Aubameyang, Marco Reus, now he's on the bench as well. The Hoover Davis, Michael Muller in goal. Our centre-backs are great as well. Just in general, this is a really, really awesome team. But Diego, it's his team. You know, this is Diego's team. He's the star of the show at the Signal Iduna Park. He's the guy that just gets involved in every single thing we do. He deserves that armband, and he shows you why in that game. What a performance as we win it by 5 goals to 0. But for the second game of today's episode here, we will take on Benfica in our first Champions League game of the season. Now, it's all well and good performing well in the Bundesliga. We won the title last season. The board want us to do it again this year as well. But last season, it is worth remembering that we had an absolute nightmare campaign in the Champions League for the most part. We may have got out of our group and into the knockout stages, but that was finishing in second place in runners-up, having to avoid defeat on the final game of the group stage as well, away at Old Trafford against United, and then, of course, being knocked out by Arsenal in around the 16th stage. We need to perform much better this season if we are to make sure we continue to make progression with Borussia Dortmund. So we would face Benfica for the group opener here at the Signal Iduna Park, and what a start as well. So after Mustafi's first chance was fired wide, in the 17th minute we win ourselves a penalty, and once again it's the same combination. Diego Menendez getting tripped up, winning a spot kick for us, and Aubameyang, his bro, the one that would take the penalty from 12 yards. And as you guys know, Aubameyang rarely misses penalties. He would stand up and take this one against Edison, the goalkeeper, go to the top right and find the top right as well. This guy is just lethal from 12 yards, and I'm sure at one point Diego will start taking the penalties, but for the time being there's no reason to take it away from Aubameyang. He scores pretty much every single one. A great finish there, right into the top corner, goalkeeper rooted to the spot, but even if he dived he would have got nowhere near it. Borussia Dortmund 1, Benfica 0, and we go in front early in this game. The Portuguese side tried to hit back here in the 31st minute, but Michael Muller, who was basically a spectator in the last game, made a very good save there and turned it behind for a corner, so still 1-0. But 10 minutes after the restart here, a great chance to double our lead. Diego, who won the penalty for the first goal, finds Kevin Volland here. Volland keeps hold of that ball, rolls it back towards Diego with the fake Rabona, then the whacker, then the heel-to-heel flick. Lovely moves from Diego, and once again is taken down, and we get awarded another penalty. So Menendez, he's too much of a beast. You gotta foul him, as Chris Smoove would say in his 2K careers, and that's exactly what I was with Menendez as well. It was an interesting penalty decision though, because the guy that didn't bring him down was the guy that made the initial contact, and that was what the penalty was given for, even though Menendez got away from him. So the referee, whistle happy, not entirely sure, but he gave a spot kick regardless. Aubameyang went to the top right for the first penalty, then the top left for the second, but the same result as he scores the goal and makes it Borussia Dortmund 2, Benfica 0, and celebrates with his bro Diego, who's the new captain of Dortmund. And if it wasn't for Menendez, Aubameyang would not have scored as many goals as he did last season. Either Menendez wins the penalties, which Aubameyang converts, or he feeds in the balls through. Menendez is such a great player in this team because he's always getting involved in all of our goals, even if in today's game against Benfica here, he's not getting credit with a goal or an assist, as he won the penalty for both of the occasions. So Dortmund 2, Benfica 0, but like in the first game really, we were the far superior side, and in the 85th minute had a great chance to make it 3-0 as well. I almost completely messed up this situation here, and don't ask me what I was doing because even I had no idea, but eventually Michel Weiser received the ball inside the area from Diego, who does get his assist as Michel Weiser gets his first goal for the club. But again, what I was doing, I have absolutely no idea. I could have finished the chance with Diego, saw the goalkeeper rushing out, I thought I'd give it to Weiser instead, and the former Hertha Berlin player does about 3 pointless skill moves and then smashes the ball in at the near post. So Dortmund 3, Benfica 0, a brace for Aubameyang once again, and 1 for Weiser as well, and we win the game by 3 goals to 0. Benfica didn't play too badly, had a couple of chances, Muller made a couple of saves, but really, we were the superior side, no doubt about it, and deserved a big, emphatic win once again. So 3-0 the final score, and a great way to start our Champions League group off as well, because this season, you saw our group, Spurs, Copenhagen and Benfica. I want us to not just get through the group, but top it like we couldn't do last season. And this year, of course, the board want us to reach the final. I'm targeting that as well. We need to at least reach the Champions League final this season, and that was a great way to start our adventure in Europe this year. So 3-0 to Dortmund, we win the game, and for the third and final game of the episode here, travelling to Cologne for our third game back in the Bundesliga, aiming to get another win and maintain our 100% start in all competitions this season. However, the home side, FC Cologne started off quite well, with Müller making a great save there as the score is still 0-0. But a couple minutes later, disaster for Borussia Dortmund. Diego received the ball as we tried to plot a counter-attack, but he was taken down and eventually forced off the pitch. He would come back onto it, and he'd also complete the game as well. But as you'll notice throughout the game, he had the plaster next to his name, and he was hobbling and limping throughout the entire 90 minutes. So not good to see, and you'll see in the next episode he does have an injury, and you'll see the extent of the damage in that next episode too, as he almost scored a thunderbolt there from 32 minutes in from about 32 yards. It hit the crossbar. So still Cologne 0, Dortmund 0 in the game anyway. That was the score at half-time and the score at full-time as well. We couldn't break the host down in this game. They defended very, very well, and after our red-hot start to the season, this was a game where our attack was blunted, and I think you guys know the main reason as well. Diego, now the captain of Dortmund, got that injury so early on in the game, and since then wasn't able to run it off and wasn't really able to run things like he normally does. A 0-0 draw, not a bad result so early on in the season, but either way, for the first time this year, we weren't able to score and we weren't looking our usual self. And if that injury from Menendez is a serious one, that will be a major concern. But that will end today's episode of Career Mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do leave a like. Much love to you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.